Hey guys, this is actually a follow-up to my previous video on the 10th Doctor, so if you haven't watched it, then don't forget to go and check it out. The End of Time Part 1 and Part 2 was the epic finale of David Tennant's 10th Doctor. The story gave us the Master, the Time Lords, Galifrey, and these spiky green people, and so much more. It's a great and bombastic finale that says goodbye to the 10th Doctor, but you know what? 13 years later, the moments that I think about when I remember these episodes are the scenes between the Doctor and this man, Wilfred Mott. And in this video, I'm gonna try to explain why that is. Don't forget to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you like more content like this. Wilf is such a wonderful character. He's a jolly, fun, and playful guy that's extremely easy to fall in love with. He's also an honourable man, finding a lot of himself in the fact that he was a soldier in World War II. On top of that, he is a loving grandfather, always looking out and caring for his granddaughter, Donna Noble. He truly believes in the Doctor, viewing him as a great man, placing his trust in him to save the world time after time. Wilfred was a minor recurring character in Season 4, but in The End of Time Part 1 and 2, he was promoted to the role of a major companion, being at the 10th Doctor's side during the events of his final story, and I think this was a fantastic idea. The Doctor and Wilf's dynamic is wonderful. We have this broken and downtrodden Doctor, regretting things he has done whilst travelling alone in the universe, running away from his fate, running away from the death that he knows is coming, and it has turned him bitter. And that contrasts to Wilf's undying optimism and faith. Faith in the Doctor he knows, faith in who the Doctor should be. And there are 3 scenes between the Doctor and Wilf that I really want to talk about today. We're going to dive into some detail in these scenes, go through the scripts and go through the scenes bit by bit. There's the scene in the cafe, the scene in the spaceship, and the scene where the Doctor dies. This scene in the cafe starts with Wilf. Look how happy he is just to see the Doctor.
But we had some good times, didn't we, though? I mean, all those Atmos things and planets in the sky and me with that paint gun.
He launches into memories of times past, adventures he will never forget. Also, can we just say that the popping noise that Bernard Cribbins does when he pretends to fire a paintball is phenomenal. After the good memories, he quickly launches into explaining his dreams.
I keep seeing things, Doctor. This face at night.
It shows how he is extremely comfortable telling the Doctor these facts, believing that he is the man to fix it.
Who are you?
I'm Wilfred Mott.
See how the Doctor cuts through Wilf's optimistic memories, ignoring the fact that he is confiding in him. He sees Wilf as a puzzle to be solved.
No, but people have waited hundreds of years to find me, and then you manage it in a couple of hours.
Well, I'm just lucky, I suppose.
No, we keep on meeting Wilf, over and over again, like something's still connecting us.
We see the Doctor's paranoia here. Like, there must be a reason. If he can figure it out, it might help him get one step closer to escaping his death. But little does he know who it is he's actually speaking to.
What's so important about me?
Exactly, why you?
Harsh words, blunt, rude even. Something he would never have really said before travelling alone.
I'm going to die.
Well, so am I one day.
Don't you dare.
All right, I'll try not to.
Wilf is just charismatic and charming, and you could see this as him making light of this very heavy topic, but I think it's also a sense of denial. To Wilf, the Doctor is this mythical man from the stars. The idea of him dying is impossible for him to believe.
He will knock 4 times. That was a prophecy. Knock 4 times and then...
You ever, thought, when I saw you before, you said that your people could change, your whole body?
I can still die. If I'm killed before regeneration, then I'm dead. Even then, even if I change, it feels like dying.
You can feel the pain in this. To us, regeneration is this spectacle because of what it means for the show. We get the excitement of the next Doctor. But for the Doctor, this is what it feels like someone else is taking over, stealing the next chapter of your life away from you.
Everything I am dies. Some new man goes sauntering away, and I'm dead.
There is this bitterness in his voice, a dismissal of this new man still being him, and then how he sits there staring into space, not being able to come to terms with his oncoming death. An absolutely beautiful moment. We then see why Wilf has brought the Doctor to this specific cafe. He knows that Donna is nearby. We see a grandfather desperately trying to protect and save his granddaughter. He knows what she is missing out on. He knows she isn't truly happy and will never be happy, and will try with all of his power to change that. Also, take a note of how sad the Doctor is, seeing his best friend, yet unable to speak to her. They share a laugh together, but I can imagine for the Doctor that it's actually a wonderful thing to see. She is still the same person that she was. I guess it's reassuring that not all about her has died.
She's making do.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, how about you? What have you got now?
No, I'm travelling alone. I thought it was better, though.
Tennant's monotonic and low voice shows his sadness, but then his composure completely starts to break.
But I did some things that went wrong. I need...
Oh, my word.
We saw in the waters of Mars his confession that he'd gone too far.
I've gone too far.
But now it's to someone he knows, a friend, a confession of guilt that is haunting him, eating him alive and changing who he is. We will see an elaboration of this confession in the next scene.
Don't you see? You need her, Doctor. I mean, look, wouldn't she make you laugh again? Good old Donna.
Though this is Wilf trying to help the Doctor, it really doesn't work. If anything, it just highlights how much he has lost. This Doctor has lost all of his companions. And here he is, sitting across the road from Donna. But he can never get her back, no matter how hard he tries. And it's because of him that she is like this. It is too much for him, so he gets up and goes, leaving Wilf alone. There is so much set up here between the two of them. It sets up the Doctor and Wilf's connection, though neither of them really knows what that entails at the moment. It shows Wilf's faith in the Doctor and admiration for him. And it also shows how far the Doctor is from being himself, feeling guilty for who he has become and fearful of his death. He has become rude, downcast, and closed off. All of these are seeds that will grow throughout the story, and they're key factors of the next scene. This scene starts off with Wilf's excitement to be up in space.
Aye, aye. Got this old tub mended?
Just trying to fix the heating.
The Doctor keeps busy for the beginning of this conversation, as if he doesn't really want to fully engage with Wilf, keeping busy staying closed off.
I've always dreamt of a view like that. I'm an astronaut.
There is such a childlike glee in his voice. Wilf is a stargazer. It's one of the first things that we learn about his character. He watches the night sky and waits to see things. And now he finally gets to look back down to Earth from space. Even in the most dire situations, this man finds something to be happy about.
It's dawn over England. Look, brand new day. My wife's buried down there. I might never visit her again now. Do you think he changed them in their graves?
I'm sorry.
Not your fault.
Isn't it?
The Doctor's sense of guilt is compounding. He's blaming himself for what's happened.
Oh, 1948. I was over there.
Bernard Cribbins recounts this story in such a beautiful way. And we actually see that the Doctor finally puts down the thing that he's been tinkering with. He takes his glasses off and he starts to engage with Wilf, listening to his story.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to an old man's tales, do you?
I'm older than you.
Get away.
Wilf pushes this comment aside, really not believing him until...
I'm 906.
Oh, really, though? Yeah. 900 years.
I think it's always wonderful seeing characters in this show be introduced to these crazy things that we as the audience have grown numb to. We know and acknowledge the Doctor's age as a fact of the show, but Wilf has no means of deducing that before now. The Doctor looks like a young man to him, and the wonderment and awe in his face as he starts to believe what the Doctor is saying is beautiful.
We must look like insects to you.
I think you look like giants.
Every now and again we get glimpses of the old Doctor, and this is one of them. As I said in the last video, the Doctor has started to view himself with a sense of grandeur, a greater being, the ruler of time. So seeing him sit here and honestly show his love for humanity reminds us of who he used to be. It also highlights something about the 10th Doctor. He's young, as in the regeneration is young. We know that he's 900 years old when he regenerated into this version of himself. And now he's only 906. 6 years is no time at all for a Time Lord. So it makes sense why he really doesn't want to let go of his current life, why he is trying so hard to stay alive and ignore his fate. He wants more time as him because he's barely had any. This is where Wilf reveals his gun and pleads the Doctor to take it. The Doctor has always hated guns, and he sticks true to that fact even here.
You had that gun in the mansion. You could have shot the Master there and then.
Too scared, I suppose.
Wilf has never killed anyone. And earlier on in the story, we see this interaction.
You're an old soldier, sir. Only you were too late. The war was won and passed you by.
I did my duty.
You never killed a man.
No, I didn't. No, I did not, no, but don't say that like it's shameful.
Wilf views this as something to be proud of. And so, when the Doctor says this to him...
I'd be proud
Of what?
if you were my dad.
it validates him. And also it's a lovely callback to the scene before this.
Your dad's still kicking up a fuss.
Yeah, well, I'd be proud if I was.
See how the Doctor's tone has changed from "you're not special" in the cafe to "I'd be proud of you, you are all giants" in this scene. The Doctor's personality is sort of split between that old 10th Doctor we know and this sour and bitter version.
You were told he will knock 4 times and then you die. Well, that's him, isn't it? The Master. The Master is going to kill you.
To this day, this is still one of the most brilliant red herrings in the show. We were all so convinced that it was the Master or something to do with him. But what really happens is even more heartbreaking.
Then kill him first.
And that's how the Master started.
The Doctor believes that he can help his old friends because he needs to believe that he can.
It's not like I'm an innocent. I've taken lives. And I got worse, I got clever. Manipulated people into taking their own. Sometimes I think a Time Lord lives too long.
And here is the full confession. You can see the guilt and sadness in his face in his delivery.
I can't. I just can't.
I think he can't take the gun because he knows what he would become. That's how the Master started. If he places the Master's life in his hands and kills him, then he has no limit and could become the worst version of himself.
If the Master dies, what happens to all the people?
The template snaps.
They go back to being human. And don't you dare, sir. Don't you dare put him before them.
Wilf starts to plead for the moral choice here, for the Doctor to put the lives of humanity over the life of the Master, but I think there's also a desire from Wilf to see the Doctor survive. He doesn't want him to die.
Now you take this. That's an order, Doctor. Take the gun. You take the gun and save your life. Please don't die. You're the most wonderful man, and I don't want you to die.
And here, Wilf breaks down, wanting the Doctor to take action against his upcoming death, begging him to survive. Ironic, because soon it's he who will be the one who makes the decision that causes the Doctor's death.
Never.
A star fell from the sky.
Their conversation is then broken up by the Master's announcement, telling the Doctor that the Time Lords are returning, and we can see the fear in the Doctor's eyes. We've seen both the Master and the Doctor at their worst, and it's terrifying. But now, all of the Time Lords at their worst are coming back. That is enough for the Doctor to take Wilf's gun and run into action. I think this is my favourite scene in this era of the show. Seeing these two old men open up, tell each other stories, be honest with each other, their care for one another shining through, but still with this darkness looming over the Doctor. He truly seems on his last legs, giving up hope and giving up on life. And this is the last scene that these two share before the tragedy of what happens next. The Doctor has saved Earth, banished the Time Lords and the Master back into the Time War. The music swells as he realizes that he's done it. The Master, the one who was supposed to kill him, is gone. There is relief and bewilderment on his face as he says this. He truly thinks that he has escaped until... Wilf is trapped in the Vinvoce glass cage that's about to flood with radiation that will kill him. He has put himself in danger by helping out one of the scientists. Throughout this interaction, as the Doctor explains the situation, you can see the discouragement in Tennant's physicality and vocal delivery. He lacks any enthusiasm or energy. There is a sense of hopelessness in the way he is holding himself. Wilf begins to understand this situation. He begins to understand that if the Doctor saves him, then he will be the reason for his death.
I'm sorry.
That delivery, man. He barely even says the word, but it speaks volumes to how sad and frustrated he is. And we see that frustration build.
Just leave me.
Okay, right then, I will. Because you had to go in there, didn't you? You had to go and get stuck, oh yes. Because that's who you are, Wilfred. You were always this, waiting for me all this time.
He starts berating Wilf, taking his anger out on him.
No, really, just leave me. I'm an old man, Doctor. I've had my time.
I think Wilf is being genuine here. We know how much he respects and loves the Doctor. I believe that he would willingly give up his life for him.
Well, exactly, look at you. Not remotely important, but me? I could do so much more! So much more! But this is what I get. My reward. But it's not fair!
There is so much to unpack here. The Doctor goes back to his mindset that we see in the cafe, right? Telling Wilf he's not important, that he's this small man when compared to the Doctor himself. Flashes of the Time Lord victorious are visible here, his ego knowing what he can do and placing more worth on his life because of it. And then we get his raging tantrum as he shouts, "It's not fair." The rage of a Time Lord fueled by a life of loss and loneliness. But then he takes a moment and he realizes what he's become.
Oh. Lived too long.
As the Doctor goes to save Wilf, we see Wilf plead for him to stop, to stay alive. Let him sacrifice his life for the Doctor.
Wilfred, it's my honor.
This is a quick 180 on his previous comments about Wilf being unimportant. But that was an impulsive and rash reaction to the situation at hand. That we know deep down the Doctor respects and cares for Wilf. That's why he says, "It's my honor." However, I think it goes deeper than that. For all the Doctor knows right now, this could be his last moment as himself. He doesn't know how long it will take for him to die and regenerate, and so what he thinks is his last act is saving his friend. How poetic for the man who has lost so many in his life that in the end he finally gets to save his companion.
Now it opens, yeah.
Oh, there we are then. Safe and sound. You're in a hell of a state. You've got some battle scars there. But Dave, how did you do that?
It started.
We see that the Doctor surrenders himself to his death. As Wilf sees what's happening, he embraces him, his heartbreak and devastation shown through tears and crying. As the Doctor stands there, his face tells us everything. After all this time of fighting his destiny, trying to run away from the prophecy, trying to avoid his death, he's finally resigned himself, devastated that he lost. The rules of time are not his, and he has fallen victim to them. He is a broken man that is about to die. These two characters complement each other so well, especially with where the Doctor is at. These scenes break away from the running and the explosions and the crazy sci-fi happenings of this show, allowing us to peer into the minds of these two old soldiers, seeing them for who they truly are. And the reason why it's so great is because David Tennant and Bernard Cribbins bring their absolute all to these roles. Mesmerizing performances from both of them. I don't know what's in store for them in the 60th anniversary specials, but I cannot wait to see them meet again. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This was a little longer than my normal videos, but I really, really wanted to dive into these scenes. So thanks for getting this far if you're here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you on the next video, everybody. Bye!